Bomas of Kenya to a Turkish national. The former deputy president says despite his objections during a cabinet meeting when he served as deputy president, the president has now bulldozed the sale. Gachagua says the president has also presided over the sale of all lands owned by the prisons department.
Today as we speak, Bomas of Kenya imeuziwa Uturuki. Bomas of Kenya imeuziwa. Ikiletwa pale cabinet nikapinga. Peke yangu. Watu wengine wote hapo ni waoga. Wakiona rais wanatetemeka namna hiyo. Mimi peke yake nilisimama cabinet nikasema Bomas of Kenya is a national heritage and we cannot sell it. Imeuziwa Uturuki ambaye ni business partner ya mtu mkubwa sana katika hii serikali. Mnamjua. Hiyo Bomas imeenda. Na tena pale watu ya civil aviation walipinga. Wakasema the flight path to Wilson Airport ni hapo. Hiyo ndio flight path. It will be dangerous. Rais akafanya. Nilipokuwa mkali akawachana naye. Aliponifukuza sasa kuna mtu kusema kitu. Watu wale wote ni flower gas. Unaona headline. Watu ya yes? Yes sir. Wanaitwa watu ya yes? Yes sir. Sasa pale this we are on our own, Reverend. As a country, William Ruto will do whatever he was in this country. There is not a single person. I was the only remaining person. Ni Mungu peke yake atamsaidia. Hiyo kwamba sasa ameenda pale amebulldoze imepita. Mashamba yote ya jela yote imeuzwa. Jela zote zinatakiwa zihamishwe, hiyo mashamba imeuzwa yote. Mpaka makanisa ya Catholic, SDA ile iko ndani ya jela yote itabomolewa. Mpaka atani they will be demolished. Yote imeuzwa. Sasa amemeza upinzani. Wabunge wetu wote wamepewa pesa, vitu vimeharibika, kuna mtu anaweza ongea. William Ruto will do whatever he wants for 2 years. And the good thing is only for 2 years. Mnamsijali? Msijali? I want to assure you. Msijali na hii maneno yanafanyika. As we are focused and what was happening is a distraction. We are called theatrics to remove ourselves from the focus. Tumesikiza wa Kenya wametuambia what we need to do. Na mchungaji amesema mnaomba towards the same goal.
Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka, who was also with the deputy president, backed the statement saying there is betrayal in Kenyan politics.
When we go through episodes like we have been witnessing, and you know, happily, nobody is coming to visit Archbishop Ng'ang'a this morning. They are Kenyans, young Kenyans, who are visiting church leaders, not in a very pleasant manner, but they are saying, we want our country back, and that is what the preachers are. There is betrayal all over, brother betraying brother, but the very interesting betrayal is that of politicians. Politicians are amazing. Please pray for them. I'm one of them. I think we should all be gotten hold of, taken to Uhuru Park, because that's what Bishop Ng'ang'a said, you go to Uhuru Park and repent together with the nation. So that never again will political leaders come before congregations and show the amount of wealth they have stolen from their people. It is that simple.
Well, the Kenyan politics starting to take shape right there. And ODM leader Raila Odinga had a troubled time yesterday when he was in Kisii. He faced a mixed reception as a large section of residents openly jeered him during an event at the Gusii Stadium. Raila was in Kisii County for the official launch of Shabana FC's new kits in an event attended by several dignitaries, including Kisii Governor Simba Arati, Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja, and ODM Youth League member Casmuel Mark Ored. Now, despite the area traditionally being one of Raila's political strongholds, the ODM party boss had to endure a volatile crowd who cheered and heckled at his presence almost in equal measure. And, you know, sections of the crowd at the Gusii Stadium shouted him down, while others resorted to anti-Ruto chants.
Raila must go!
Mwaka jana nilikuja hapa wakati tulikuwa tunazindua Shabana hapa, nikasema nataka Shabana waendelee na wachukue ligi. Leo nimerudi tena, maana yake kama na Simba Rati amenialika nije hapa, maana yake Sport Pesa sasa wanataka kusponsor sasa simu ya Shabana hapa kwenu. Hapa Kisii kuna talent kubwa sana ya mchezo ya mpira. Bwana Montego alicheza, Chris Bure alicheza kwa Gor Mahia kwa Kenya tena. Najua tuko hapa na vijana ambao wanaweza kucheza mpira mpaka waende hata kule Ulaya. Hapa najua kuna wachezaji kama wale wa kijana wanaitwa Saka hapa Kisii. Kwa hivyo mimi nimekuja kama mtu anayeona mchezo wa mpira, na vile nilikuona kama vile vijana hapa wa Shabana wataendelea mbele. Shabana hoye!
Well, this happened just 2 days after the former Prime Minister signed a pact with President William Ruto. And this area is normally, Kisii County is basically one of his staff areas. Has traditionally voted for him almost to a man. But now, well, it looks like the young people are so mad about the agreement that was made between him and the president. Remember, Gen Zs have been saying that, you know, he betrayed them during the protest. Now, police were forced to fire tear gas to disperse protesters at Jesus Winner Ministry Church in Roysambu, where they had gathered to oppose President William Ruto's 20 million shilling donation to the church. The demonstrators, mobilizing through the hashtag Occupy Jesus Winners on X, accused the government of misallocating public funds amid economic hardships. There was heavy police presence around the church ahead of the protest, with Bishop Edward Mwai of the ministry revealing during the service that several youth had been arrested for attempting to mobilize support for the protest using their phones. All this on the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua said it was unfortunate that the president had messed up the fortunes of Pastor Mwai's church.
The money went into the pastor's pocket. In fact, let me tell you one thing. There is not a member in that church who will get a coin from that money. It has gone to an individual's pocket. The so-called Pastor Mwai. In fact, that is very, very wrong. Our religion or these religious leaders has taken advantage of the ignorance of Kenyans for so long. They take advantage of durable Kenyans, and it's time for us to expose the church, expose the religion.
Peace. Then kwanza mazee ni kitu important. Then mazee ilikuwa inasaposaje tutafute solution kama vijana. Website kuja tu mazee kutucheza. Wazi hiyo pesa ilitoa huko, na pesa tunajua pesa ilitoa la Sunday ilikuwa ni 20 million sio? Wazi leo Sunday.
Well, those are some of the views of the young people who had attended that service, who had gone to occupy the church. Now, in a strange happenings, a funeral service in Kirinyaga turned chaotic when a pastor refused to let politicians speak, insisting that the event was for mourning and not for a political rally. Members of parliament allied to the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua forcefully grabbed the microphone from him, triggering uproar. Frustrated mourners joined in demanding that the politicians be allowed to address them. Among those present were Kirinyaga Senator Morango James Kamau and Women Representative Jerry Maina. The two, along with other local leaders, stormed the stage, cutting off the pastor mid-speech.
Thank you. You have something to say? It's okay. It's okay. Tunapea nafasi, mnapeana wenzangu, mnaongea ukiwa sasa.
Chairman.
The value ceremony, it is not a political rally, and we are not fighting with them, we have honored them, we have given them an opportunity to condole with the family, but instead of condoling with the family, it is like settling scores in a meeting whereby we are condoling with people who have lost their loved ones. So this was not good, and it cannot have allowed that. No, I'm not on the government side, because I have sat down with the area MP. I have also sat down and told also the CAC that he should not have done that, because that was not what we came here to do. We came here to preach the gospel. So how can you do when people are shouting? Well, they have hired groups, but they have come with the people who are shouting as well. How can we continue with that? Let them continue the program.
You know, I look at that and I'm sure, what is wrong with this generation? As in, they are fighting for politicians to speak and even forcing the minister who had come to preside over the interment of the deceased to leave. Anyway, wacha tuangalie magazeti Let's take that short break. When we come back, we'll look at the other stories in the newspapers today. You know, the strangest thing, when that pastor was leaving, you had people saying, "Where kwenda?" Sa unashangaa, you. We are living in very different times. I must admit. When I was younger, I mean, it was unfathomable that somebody would actually be speaking such things to men of the cloth. You could not even fathom, not even in your wildest imagination, think of that. But anyway, times are changing, but people are going to pay for it. We start off by looking at the Daily Nation, and the headlines is how e-citizen owners defied State House. What happened? Shortly after being sworn in, President William Ruto summoned owners of Webmasters Limited to a meeting at State House where one message was made perfectly clear. The company hands over the e-citizen platform to government and abandons any monetary claims as the firm had paid itself enough for nearly 8 years. In January 2023, Gold Rock and Webmasters dropped their suit, but more than 2 years later, Webmaster and its sister firms are still operating e-citizen. So $1 million question is, how are they still operating e-citizen? Interesting story. You need to get into it and read. Suspect in Britain's Scott murder, once charged with attacking Turkish and Indian nationals. Wait a minute. Suspect in Britain's Scott's murder was once charged with attacking Turkish and Indian nationals. This is a criminal. I remember one MCA, a lady, I'll remember her name, loves putting on a lot of makeup. She was going around saying, "See the criminal, the criminal." This one is criminal, this guy. And then on the second page, you have City Youth Storm Jesus winner. This is a conversation that the church needs to have. When you have the young people now storming churches because they're claiming the money that is being taken there by the president is proceeds of crime, you can imagine the kind of impact it's having on these young people to a point whereby probably they will not be going to church. Some of them given are crooks, but the impact is really negative. And then Treasury has broken the law with 220 billion domestic borrowing. Concessional borrowing tends to be much cheaper than domestic, which often attracts market rates. Then Ruto-Raila deal, President begins tour of Nairobi to popularize pact. And then Ndindi Nyoro goes from Ruto insider to big casualty of Gachagua fallout. Dude has, he bought shares at Kenya Power and Lighting. I think it was around, around 30 million by the time. And then Kenya Power, because of good management, I must praise my friend Joy Mdivo. She's been doing a very good job as the chair of the board. The prices for the very first time in I don't know how many years, Kenya Power has become profitable, and Ndindi Nyoro saw his share price and value go up to almost 300 and something million. And then we have the Auditor General, Nancy Gathungu, who said that 3.6 billion kidney center incomplete 6 years later. Appellate Court judges end Kenya School of Law monopoly, meaning now, oh, this is interesting, meaning now people will be able to take the law exams at other facilities or institutions and be able to be admitted into the bar. CJ removal case moves to appeals court. And then released MCA had Bob Njagi screaming. This guy has been missing. We almost even forgot that this MCA had been missing. The Wajir County Assembly Minority Leader Yusuf Ahmed Hussein had been missing. He's been away for a very long time, almost 6 months. And even people gave up on him and thought the dude had kuffed. But yesterday, the day before yesterday, just appeared, went home. He says that he was dropped by some guys. They had been taking him around, held him in comunicado for this period, and he was dropped at some place and given 5,000 akambo enda nyumbani. So the family said the dude has appeared. He was frail and stuff, and was saying that he had been held at a place where he could hear one of the other guys who had been kidnapped some time back, called Bob Njagi, screaming. The back page of the Nation, we got audit reveals millions lost in Nairobi Stadium projects. Unstoppable Kenya Lioness step out of Shuja's shadows. These girls performed pretty cool. And they beat the Springbok girls, South Africa. I mean, kudos. I long for the day. Maybe this will only happen after Jesus comes and we are raptured. But I long for the day when we'll go through the newspapers and you don't hear people stole money. I mean, can't we just do a stadium? I mean, just a stadium without any person stealing. I mean, audit reveals millions of shillings lost in Nairobi Stadium projects. You wonder now, surely. No wonder the young people are protesting, because there's a lot of theft that is taking place in our country. There's literally no project that does not end up having a report of millions or billions that were stolen. The Standard talks about pulpit arrogance, and it has as and then the the headline says, in God's name, as millions of Kenyans battle the high cost of living, President Ruto has splashed 140 million on churches in just 1 week. Protests erupted in Nairobi yesterday and were met with brutal force crackdown as furious Kenyans question whether this donation reflected generosity or a blatant display of political excess amid economic turmoil. Wisdom dictates. Masai Mara land ruling sparks controversy over ownership of conservation. Let me see. In the core of Kenya's iconic Masai Mara legal tussle dispute has raged for more than 20 years over a coveted 4,700-acre tract of land known as Okiombo. Anyway, Soma. Missing Wajir MCA resurfaces after 6 months. Ruto gives 20 million to Eldoret Church as youth protest at Jesus Winner. Supreme Court opens door for late claims, says justice has no time bar. Wamalwa, Raila Ruto pact is the final blow to Azimio coalition. And Raila booed in Kisii days after deal with Ruto. Then the back page, Kenya Lioness back on the hunting trail. At least some good news. We won. And then back to the Star newspaper. Cusco scam. How Kenyans lost 12.5 billion Sacco cash. And these guys are still around there. They're still walking around. 12.5 billion shillings. Ruto Raila Park spells doom, says Gachagua. NSE investors smile all the way to the ching-ching. Now, you need to go to the Star newspaper and open page number 4. And you see the people who are accused of having, who are alleged and accused of having stolen 12 billion shillings Sacco funds. These are very healthy looking women and men, and probably you've seen them in your estate, or you've seen them along the, driving the high-spec cars, and maybe they've attended some of the harambes, distributing money that is alleged to have been stolen. Justice truly needs to be served. At least the Star newspaper has a good story. Kenyan entrepreneur with an international touch. You have Bar Next Door was named by Kenya Tourism Board and top 8 globally by its architectural design. I mean, this guy is good. Some good stories. Shilling 20 million jackpot, Chepkurui attributes her triumph to mental fortitude as she shakes off strong opposition to rule Nagoya women's race. 20 million shillings, she won. If you know her, introduce me to her. I think I can show her. Anyway, just joking. Well, remember today is a Monday. We will be having the Gatuzi at around 11:30, and then at 2 p.m. we'll be checking out what the scoreboard. You can be very sure Chepkurui with the 20 million, and then our girls who beat South Africa when it comes to rugby, the Lionesses, will be featured there, and these girls are good. I watched them play the rugby. The HBC Sevens. They are brilliant and very strong at that. Maybe our Sevens can learn a thing or two from them. They are really, really good. So I know a lot of that will be focused. Okay. Let's enjoy this morning. We got some good stuff lined up for you.